Hello everyone, today I'm wanting to do a quick unboxing video of these two decks here. So we've got the old style tarot and the old style Lenormand. There is a third deck that is also the old style Oracle, which I don't have and have not felt the need to pick up just yet. But I've had these sitting on my table for a couple of weeks. They are still in their plastic wrap and I've been wanting to do an unboxing video. I came across these, I don't remember who, someone had posted them on Instagram. And I, as I normally do, just save it in my folder of decks I'm interested in and wanting to look at later. And I ended up just buying them because I thought they were quite beautiful. It looked like it might be a nice deck combination to work with for spring. And I do like layering my readings with all sorts of card decks. And I don't know off the top of my head of any tarot Lenormand combinations that I have. I don't believe I have any that are by the same creator, meant to sort of complement each other. So if you have any sets or decks that read well together that you recommend, please let me know. I'm always open to new options. But here we are. So these are both created by Alexander Ray. They are US Games production products. Nice little hard two-part box. So we'll slide this guy open. Okay, so here we have the old style tarot in our traditional fashion. We've got a nice little book here that shows all of the cards. I'm not meaning for this to be a particularly exhaustive video as I haven't got a chance to obviously try them out yet, but let's take a look at these together. So there is the back of our tarot, and now let's get into the Lenormand as well. Come on, you. So I do solely, particularly, I don't like Lenormand decks that don't have the playing card inset. So the fact that on the box, even though it's small, I do sort of prefer something more like, what do we have here? We got the Grand Tableau Lenormand, something where you have a nice larger playing card inset. The maybe Lenormand is also this guy here, probably my most used Lenormand deck. Anyways, let's take a look and see, because they should have, at the very least, a small playing card inset here. Let's get this not over the camera. Okay, so we have a little guidebook that comes with this as well. Goes over the cards like so. And okay, I'm really liking these already. Obviously the backs match very nice. Okay, so here is what we're looking at in terms of the size of the playing card inset. So perhaps what I'll do is maybe I'll do a flip through of the tarot first, and then I'll do a flip through of the Lenormand deck. I'll pop on some music and we can take a look at all of the cards here. And then I'll be back at the end with some thoughts initially about the decks. But first, I guess before I jump right in, let's take a quick note of the card stock. So they are, they're not, oh, we got a blank card. I love that. They're not bad. They're not super thick or anything. They seem durable, but definitely on a thin to workable riffle shuffle style. Shouldn't be a problem. Nice soft edges. It's not bad card stock at all. Okay, I am quite excited about this. So let's go ahead and I'll zoom in here. Let's do a flip through of the tarot and then we'll take a look at the Lenormand. Okay, so there we have the decks. They're quite beautiful. I'm actually really happy with both. Like I said, I had seen just a couple of photos of a few of the cards before I purchased them, and I'm happy. I'm quite happy with the purchase here. So just going through them quickly, you can see that it is obviously Rider-Waite-Smith style deck throughout the minors, but then they have preserved in the Sun card. Do I have? I do not have a Marseille deck literally beside me here, but where we have the two people sharing this moment together here in the sun. Here, I went and grabbed it. So this is just from the Jean Noblet deck, where you can see you have the two people basking in the light of the sun together, as opposed to, sorry, I've got my my giant Rider-Waite here, was just teaching a class, as opposed to the child on the horse type imagery. So I thought that's quite beautiful. Similarly, in the Lovers card, we see the same thing. The only card I was concerned about, it just seemed like it was not, the resolution was not great. And that was these are beautiful. Like, I'm very happy with this. I cannot wait to see how she reads. Like that we've got Justice here with her book and her sword across the book like that. I think that's beautiful. It was the Wheel of Fortune here. Just didn't seem the clearest. Maybe I'm just splitting hairs, but it's hard to maybe see on camera. It's not too bad, but it caught my eye as we were flipping through that you have these very clear, crisp images, and then this Wheel of Fortune just seemed a little bit pixelated in some way. But yeah, I mean, sorry, nope, I have that backwards. The Lovers are not Marseille style. We do not have the three images. They are Rider-Waite-Smith style here. You know, the entire image here. So yeah, I mean, it's quite beautiful. I did want to talk about a couple of the minors that stood out to me. What do I have here first? Blank card. So the Pentacles, I actually don't know that there was many comments I had towards the suit. There was one page, I think it was the Page of Cups, that was not a younger person. It was a full-grown man. He had a big old mustache. I wanted to come back to that. What do you mean? Beautiful reconstruction of our traditional Rider-Waite-Smith style imagery. We've got our little cherubs here in the Three of Pentacles. Yeah, no, I don't know that I had too much to say about the coins suit. See, we have a little bit of it's not as clear, the imagery on the Queen there as well. There we are. It was the Page of Cups. See, we have got a gentleman here with a full mustache, and he's, I don't know, he's looking kind of sassy. This is quite fun. I like this Page of Cups. And the Seven of Cups was another one that stood out. I like here that they've got the rainbow coming out of the cups. That's quite beautiful. I mean, I don't think my pixelation issue will be a problem with how it reads, but this is a very interesting Seven of Cups. I imagine we do have 7 cups within 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, but a few of them are on people's arms. Very different from what we are typically used to in Rider-Waite-Smith with the 7 cups in the sky and the person in the front, the dreaming aspect. But I mean, if this is a representation of how dreams are entering this sleeping person or whatever's going on, I'm going to have to read what the book says about that. It's quite unique. And 6, 5, and this 4 of Cups was it caught my eye as well, seeming less ambiguous. That's one of my favorite cards in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. Favorite? I don't know. Most ambiguous cards. I mean, I don't mean for this to become a comparison, and I'm sure this will be the last card that I will find. But that's one of the powers I enjoy of that 4 of Cups in this deck, how Pamela drew it, because it is so ambiguous, and it kind of even depends on the deck if that person is sitting there with their eyes closed or open, if there's a little bit of a smile or smirk going on, whereas this, I mean, that's quite different, sitting in this pose, crossed, well, arms are crossed, hands crossed, head down, a different way of not seeing the cup. And then of course we have just the hand versus the angel bringing it in here. So our 3 of Cups, then we have a whole bunch of people going on, which that's quite beautiful. Our 2, Ace, King. So that was my thoughts on our cups. What do we have next? Yes, let's take a look at the wands. Suit. I think that we have preserved our cat, though we do not have a black cat. We have a little orange cat here. Again, we've got a younger person for our page. 9, 8, we've got this gentleman, God, whoever he is meant to be here, throwing the wands. 7, 6. Yes, this 5 of wands is certainly different from our standard 5 of wands in the Rider-Waite-Smith when we have all of the people fighting each other. This feels, kind of has a similar feel to the 5 of swords, where you have a battle of one person knocking the other person down, sort of thing. But I still appreciate it. It doesn't stray too far from the imagery, and I think this is quite lovely here with this sprout in the hand for the Ace of Wands. And finally, through our suit of swords, I always want to make sure I've got a Queen of Swords that I can love, and I adore her. I love that we've got the crow on her shoulder, that we've got the butterfly on her hand. She looks pretty killer. I really like that. Again, we have our young page. The 10 of Swords, stabbed in the front, quite different from our imagery being stabbed in the back. We've even got the vulture here, and that's something I noticed, that there is quite a bit of additional symbolism in a few of the cards that I think you could pull quite a bit more from. Here with the 8 of Swords, whether this is a ghost, a phantom, an actual person, whatever's going on there. Very interesting how we have the second figure. 7 of Swords, that's quite cute. You've got the children and the fox up here, and then the comedy tragedy masks. 6 of Swords, interesting how she's not on the boat with the child. Is she walking on water? What's going on there? Beautiful. 5 of Swords, yeah, so this one, it's beautifully ambiguous, and I love tarot cards that are particularly ambiguous. They seem to be most surprising when you are reading with them. And this 4 of Swords, where we have these figures, because they don't look like statues. They look living by the placement of their hand, possibly. So if these are people, not figures. And then this also looks, like a person with and his hands are up. Either he's positioned that way, living or dead, sleeping, unsure. 3 of Swords, beautifully done. 2, I like this angle for her, how we're not seeing her straight on. I think that's quite powerful, seeing it that way. Lovely Ace of Swords. So that is our tarot. It's beautiful. I cannot wait to read with it. I will perhaps do another video a little later on if this becomes a deck that I end up working it with quite a bit more. And quickly over the Lenormand here. I love the nice big image that we are working with, where most of the card is the symbol of the card and that there's not a whole lot going on in the background. That is my preference. So we have the clover. I had mixed feelings about the flower on the clover first, but I think I can get on board with that. House tree, all looking good. The clouds, I do appreciate that there is still preservation of some level of a darker half and a lighter half of the clouds, even if it looks like just we've got the sun popping out there on one side and the blue on the other side. So I do find that to be often relevant in readings. Interesting snake that we've got coiled up on the branch. And I don't know if maybe it was just because I saw the bouquet after the coffin, but this had a very memorial type feel to it. Perhaps it was because I just saw it after the coffin, but very different being in the basket than just being, in a vase or a vase and bouquet that way. And that coffin is, with the red drapery on it and the wreath, it's not as, doesn't hit as harshly, I guess, as sometimes when you just see like the black outline of the dark coffin laying there. We have our scythe, our whips, the birds, where they have 2 birds loving up on each other. They're not in flight. We got the rose there, so that definitely has a bit of a different feel to it. We have our child playing with a doll. The fox, I don't know that I noticed that the first time going through, that there was a little baby fox there. That is cute and would change things if you work with your Lenormand based on the imagery as opposed to just symbolically. We have our star, our stork, dog, tower. The garden is nice. I perhaps maybe prefer a little more emphasis on the garden as opposed to a structure, personally speaking, if I'm going to split hairs here. The mountain is nice, where it's sort of a mountainous range here going on. I liked our crossroads, nice. The heart with the wings, that's pretty. I like that we've got a red stone in the ring. Adds a different element of either legacy or, I don't know, it feels a bit different than our traditional or commonly seen, just the standard, you know, diamond solitaire. We've got the book that's open, and the letter also that is open or available to be read, hasn't been popped into flight just yet. And then of course, really like that we've got 2 man cards and 2 lady cards, so you can choose your own adventure or have additional people cards as needed. And that we don't have white lilies, that's quite pretty. The fact that they're pink and a little bit of orange in there. Sun, the moon, those are very traditional to, at least not too much traditional, but just in theme with this old style artwork here that we have within these decks. This key is quite interesting that we've got it sitting over top of the lock like that, crossed. And then this, probably just because they were together, was giving me a memory of the scene from Harry Potter with the flying keys. If you blended these two together, it would be those little keys that are flying around there in the first movie when they're trying to get into finding the Philosopher's or Sorcerer's Stone. So anyways, quite cute. But yeah, the flying fish is cute, and we've got a bunch of them flying there in the background, and the anchor and the cross. So overall, very happy with both of these decks. I think the cardstock seems half decent for sure, so hoping that that will stand up over the test of time. I don't think it won't. Don't have any reason to believe that it won't. And I really like that these two, I mean, I don't love that it says Old Style Lenormand on the back. I was very much so hoping that was just on one of the title cards or something, but that's okay. It is what it is. Apart from that, they do seem to match quite beautifully, so I think laying a spread or spreads or having both of these on the table at any given time together perhaps would be a rather beautiful experience. I can only imagine until I do so. So anywho, that is all I have for today. This was the Old Style Tarot and the Old Style Lenormand as created by Alexander Ray and put out by US Games. I hadn't seen them. I think this came out, this is 2025 on it, but the tarot says 2023. Oh no, it says 2024 on it. 2023 US Games, 12/24. Anyways, at whatever point these came out, I don't think they've been out for too long, but it's been a minute since I've done an unboxing video because I would say I'm slowing down in my deck purchasing, but if you just saw a couple of my recent videos, you'd know that that's not true. Anyways, may you enjoy the rest of your day. Happy card slinging, and I will see you in the next video.